when you're talking about Kuminga and saying, yo, I'm going to take a $7.9 million qualifying deal, do you really think that they're going to lose an asset for nothing? So I'm going to let you go out there and turn yourself into a max player on my time? Nah, right? So I'm a with your time again, right? So this is the business of basketball that nobody likes to look at. They think everything is all peachy. I average 20. This is what I'm going to get paid. That's not how it always is.
Free Jonathan Kuminga ASAP. Gilbert Arenas talks about the Warriors ruining Jonathan Kuminga's career. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Kuminga, hey, man, look, if you want to start, sign that deal. If you don't sign that deal, they're going to with your time to devalue you. You're going to go in the open market. What they offered you is going to be off the table. What you get in the open market, they're just going to match. So if you sign in, 60 million, 80 million, 90 million, anything that's under the 120 they was originally willing to pay you, they're going to match it. The problem with that is if you don't have another buyer, you're going to be just how you are right now. Going to have to sign a qualifying deal. And guess what? They get to do the same again.
I think
off the bench.
Yeah, but he'll be a free agent at least at that point. Reports that they're looking for a sign and trade partner. But Anthony Slater, I think, who used to be at the Athletic, I don't know if he's there anymore. He still might be, but basically broke this story, basically saying, and I talked to some people in Kuminga's camp as well recently, that there was never no offer. So there was all these back and forth that he wanted 45, 50 mil a year. He wanted to get paid max bread and all this stuff. So from what I was told, the Warriors came in with a super disrespectful offer off the jump, just like, and his people weren't rolling with it. And then that's where all this stuff started. But it was even below. I think they were talking about Jaylen Johnson deal, the 5 for 150, saying he would have took that if that deal was offered. From what I heard, that deal was not offered. It was significantly lower than even that. And it's like, I'm not going to take this deal right now from y'all.
No, it was one.
No, this is business 101. You got to put numbers out there that you think that you're worth, even though there may not be teams that are interested in paying Kuminga, but that's what you got to do. If you're his representative, his agent, you're going to say he wants X amount, but if you don't got a lot of buyers on the market, it's going to be tough for Kuminga to get the money that he really wants. So if he was offered a 5-year 150 from the Warriors, you got to take that. You get longevity with the organization or a tradable contract, but I don't see Kuminga making more than 120 as of right now. He's just going to have to sign a deal, prove himself, and maybe in 3 to 4 years, if he does his thing, he'll get a lot of money. But this is what organizations do. They may blackball you. They may play you less minutes, not put you in the rotation, play you once every few games, not put you in during crunch time moments. So those potential buyers out there, they may not have a lot of data on you. So the money that you think you're worth, they're just going to go based off the footage and the points per game and the stats. And if it doesn't add up, you're going to be lowballed. So the Warriors, they definitely screwed over Jonathan Kuminga.
He was hoping for what 5 for 150. They was thinking 5 for 120.
Those are the numbers. That's the range that I think the 5 for 120 was what was put on the table. Take it or leave it. And it's like, now I'm gonna bet on myself. And it's like, okay, we got the deck. The game is rigged. You don't have the cards right now.
And that's what I said. After I realized, after the start of the season would have started, I would have realized this deck is rigged, and I would have protected my money by signing that deal. Right? I'm gonna sign a deal, 2-year option out for 2027. I would have did something to sign it, and that's why I said you're gonna have 3 guys open this free agency. The first one to say I'm willing to take that deal, you gonna be happy. The other 2 gonna be miserable because they're never gonna get that money back. So Giddey, if I'm Giddey right now and they got a 5-year, 95-year, 100, take the deal. I take the deal because all that's gonna happen is, Giddey has more power than them because he's a starter, right? So he can still get his numbers and be attractive next year, right? When you're talking about Kuminga and saying, yo, I'm going to take a $7.9 million qualifying deal, do you really think that they're going to lose an asset for nothing? So I'm going to let you go out there and turn yourself into a max player on my time?
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not going to allow Kuminga to do that. Steve Kerr, he pretty much said, I'm choosing Jimmy Butler over Kuminga, someone that's going to be 37 years old. I'm going to choose that over a 23, 24-year-old. So with the addition of Jimmy Butler, that pretty much tanked Kuminga's chances of being a rotational piece or a starter with the Warriors. So they're willing to choose the old guy instead of the young guy. So that was the first straw that really broke Kuminga's back. So at the end of the day, if you're Kuminga, you may have to sign that 5-year, 120, about $24 million per year, 24, 25. That's decent money. Not the money that he may not want per year, but at least maybe you can do a third year or fourth year option to get out that contract if you play above that contract. But it's all business when it comes to the NBA. Do I take a less amount with more years, or do I want to go for the 150 to 200 for 4 years? I don't think teams are going to pay Kuminga 40 or 50 million per year as of right now, even though he may be on Cunningham's, Scotty Barnes level. It's going to be tough because they got a lot of starts under their belt, a lot of stats. Kuminga doesn't have that. He has the potential, but he doesn't have it on paper.
Nah. Right. So I'm a with your time again. Right. So this is the business of basketball that nobody likes to look at. They think everything is all peachy. I average 20. This is what I'm going to get paid. That's not how it always is.
But back when you were playing, obviously it's a different time now, different CBA, second apron, all that stuff going on. Back where you were playing, wasn't always, let me look at the comps, right? Here are the comps and here's the bags comparable to whatever I'm putting up. So if I'm putting up whatever, maybe 20 and 5, this is what 25 is getting paid right now. This is how much I feel like I deserve. Kuminga not at that level. I think he averaged like 15 and 5 last season. Getting put in the doghouse. The year before was like 15 and 5. You know, it shot over 50% the first 3 seasons of his career. I think this last season, he was under that for the first time. Yeah, we shot 53% and 23-24, shot 45%. So you can see he's getting fucked with. Numbers were down across the board. So they're trying to drive the price down. And now at this point, with this second apron, with the way that this free agency has gone, CBA, those bags, frankly, aren't there. I think it was only a couple teams who even had bread to get these type of moves made, to get some at that level. And it seems like at this point, and that's why we're talking about too about the Warriors not making a ton of moves. It seems like they're at a standoff right now with this Kuminga deal, trying to get it done. Obviously, it feels like the sign and trade is probably the only real true option at this point to keep both sides happy, because this dude, he's not going to be happy there. You already
no. Listen, the second.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be happy knowing that his counterparts are making some good money. But again, he's not in that range as far as making what Cunningham makes and Scotty Barnes and those people that are within his draft class. It's just not happening. Doesn't have enough starts under his belt. He started to come alive toward the end of the season, but he got injured and got out the rotation. Had some good run in the playoffs when Steph Curry was out. So he showed if you can throw him in a playoff moment, a playoff situation, he can give you 25 or 30 points if he gets enough looks. But again, by Jimmy Butler being on that team, that's pretty much his position. Him being a good overall player, that's what Jimmy does at an elite level. Kuminga, he isn't there yet, and he may not be able to shine with the Warriors. So it's definitely going to have to be a sign-in trade. The Warriors, they've been very quiet this offseason. Only way they get better is either keep Kuminga or do that sign-in trade.
Second apron is something that it's like anything, right? When something new is coming in, because you don't really understand it, everything is on pause. Right. So now you got Boston over there cutting their roster down. You got New York doing what they're doing. Right. You got all these people because they don't know how it's going to affect you. All they're doing is just reading language. So that usually that first summer something's coming in, everyone panics. So this is the summer everyone's panicking because they don't know what is to be expected and how do you get penalized in real life. I said it before. I said if I was an owner, like I'm I would have sold my team too. If there's a $10 billion, cash prize out there. How long is this deal for? 4 years, 10 years, 6 years?
For what?
This new CBA.
What are they let me see when it expires. I think they're like every 6 or whatever. Let me see.
Because for the next 6 years, literally, I can't win a championship. This is going to be some free-for-all, everyone spread, the winning around type of deal, and I don't like that as an owner. So you're telling me I can't spend my money without being penalized, and I don't like that. Right? If I'm worth, 16, 17 billion, and this over here is worth 2 billion, why are we playing on the same rules?
So they can opt out of the agreement. Both league and players union have the option to opt out of the agreement after the 28-29 season. It's supposed to be 7-year deal, 7-year collective bargaining agreement through 29-30. But we're seeing, I guess, off this new, $70-something billion TV deal, like the cap can only raise by 10% every year, right? And the bread is, I think, surpassed that with this this new TV deal. But no matter what, the cap can only go up by 10%. So players are going to be getting salty.
But
yeah, just with all the CBA rules, the new TV money, players want their money, players want their bread, but teams are going to try to keep as much money as possible. They don't want to overpay for a player, and that's what you got with Kuminga. He wants a certain amount. The Warriors, they're not budging. They're going to stand on business, take this 5-year 120, or you can take that 7.9 and bet on yourself. But at the end of the day, after that contract, he's pretty much able to walk. So if you're the Warriors, you may have to do that sign and trade. If he doesn't want to take that 5-year 120, that's the only option you got. You don't want a Kuminga that has a decent upside to just walk away as a free agent. So this Warriors dynasty is looking real shaky right now. The addition of Jimmy Butler should be able to help. He's only a Band-Aid for the organization. They still got moves to make. Curry, he can only play at this level for so long. Eventually, Father Time's going to catch up. Draymond Green, he's pretty much, a hit or miss game to game. He may be out just due to his temper and anger issues, so you just never know what you're going to get with Draymond. So you don't really have any defining player on the Warriors. So the Warriors dynasty is officially over. They're going to have to start a rebuild. Again, they're going to be able to stay afloat, probably be a playoff team in the plan, but either way, they got to make some massive moves if they want to continue to push forward and win some games and championships in the near future. Free Jonathan Kuminga ASAP.